In this lesson, we're going to look at something a bit more complex, the yoke for the U-joint. So we've made a drawing of it for you to have a look at, and you can display that on the second monitor or look at a printed copy. So I'll hide that and go back to NX, and now we're going to come and create a new part, and it's going to be called yoke. And then we're going to sketch on the XY plane, and we'll start out with a circle that would be corresponding to the collar that would be at the where the main shaft would come out. So that has a diameter of 40, and then with that we'll take now and finish the sketch, and we'll extrude, and we're going to go by 20. And now we're going to take a look at the cross holes. So to do that, what we need is a different plane to sketch in. So we're just going to turn this around, and now we can either use the YZ or the ZX. Let's use the YZ. So I'll take now and sketch, and we have to pick the plane. And now we're going to take and make this 12 millimeter hole up here. And now we have some work to do to create the additional geometry for that. Let's go for a second one. And it shows a radius of 1233, so let's go twice that, so 24.67, and that'll share the common center. Now what I'm going to do is, to avoid getting automatic dimensions, which NX does by default, I'm going to come in here, and I've got the continuous auto dimensioning turned off, so we should be okay with that now to draw some lines. So if I come and put a line in here, and I'm going to sit up above, and it's going to have a length, checking out the drawing, that would be 30. Now we need a line up from this edge, and it's going to be tangent, and then another one on the other side, tangent. So now what we need to do is establish the height up here. So we're going to need some linear dimension, and we'll take it from this center, and then down here there's a list that we could pick it from. I think what we're going to want to use is the coordinate system. And that would be the sketch origin. Now the size of that should be 50, 60 in total, so I'll have to come in here and type the 60 in. So next we're going to have to make some extra constraints. We're going to come in here, we're going to create some geometric constraints here. Let's do some tangents. So we would use this object and then the arc, And then we can do that again. Either order that can be used there, and you see as that happens, we reduce the number of constraints down below. The next thing we can do is take and make some dimensions. So if I take and pick this arc center here, and then the sketch origin, now you see I've got this now set from inferred to horizontal, and that way I can actually type in the number 0, and that'll line that up over top. Now you see we're not lined up because we had that automatic sketch constraints turned off. So if I need to make coincident, I'm going to actually have to pick these. I'll just do that again. So the first one is here, the second one, and then we're going to have to do that at the other end as well. You see we're now down to 4 constraints. So what we can do is we'll center this. So we'll take and make a linear dimension from here to here, and that should be 15, half of the 30. So now we're centered on that dimension there. So we're getting a lot closer to where we want to now be. It's 30, 15, we've got the 60. We can now take and continue on with cleaning up this in here. So we need a trim. That would be the eraser here, and we'll pick on that. Now we don't have a setting for this line, so let's come and make another linear dimension. We'll go vertical this time, and it's supposed to be from here. We could go down to this edge and then just type the 10 there. So we're much better controlled now. Let's take a look at who's still available to move. So, okay, so we have our tangents made here, but we didn't make the coincident, so we'll come in there and do that. So we need here and here. We're down now to 2 constraints. This one and there. Okay, now we've fully constrained our sketch there. Let's take and finish the sketch and save. And we'll just take and rotate this over so we can see where we're at. Now what I'm going to do now is extrude this out, and we need to go to a width of 50. So extrude. And we're going to do this symmetrically. So what we can do is put in a symmetric value. Oops, 50. Actually, we want 25 each way. So we'll just back up and fix that here. Of course, we can just edit and then put the 25. So let's do that again. What we're going to do is another extrude. on the same sketch. And this time we need to cut it out so that it's in total 30. And it's going to be symmetric again. Now it didn't get the Boolean correct there, so we can edit that. And we'll do a subtract. Okay, so with that, we've got a lot of this done. There's another chunk needs to be done in here. That's a little bit more complicated, so I'm going to do that later. What we can do is come and remove the visibility of this. So I'm just going to hide that sketch plane in there, and we can also hide this in here. And we'll take and save it at that point and continue on in a separate lesson later on.